First up is Will Swearingen of Clark Pacific. Will is the Director of Manufacturing for Clark Pacific's Parking and Emerging Markets Division. In this role, he brings over 12 years of experience in complex program management, supply chain, cross-functional team leadership, and global manufacturing. Over the past 2.5 years, he has brought his outside experiences to help deliver projects requiring integrated prefabricated solutions. Prior to joining Clark Pacific, he worked at Amazon Lab, an investment banking associate at Lazard, and an engineering officer in the U.S. Army. And when I talked to Will, I got to learn he holds the unique distinction as the 7th consecutive member of his family that graduated from the United States Military Academy at West Point. That's impressive. Will, thank you for your service and welcome. And thanks for being here today. It's all yours.
All right. Thanks, Gary. And thanks to SPS and PPI for allowing Clark Pacific to have a voice here. And I am really excited to share our journey with you today. So I'm going to structure our conversation around 3 key questions. And the first one being, why are we moving towards industrialized construction? Second, I'm going to talk about how we're doing it as an organization and what we're learning along the way last. So first up, the why. So Clark Pacific has been around, founded in 1963, and we've been a prefabricator of building components using precast as the vehicle to provide owners with schedule, cost, quality, and safety certainty. And really, until 2003, we were delivering architectural facades to projects. We saw an inflection point between 2003 and 2019 where we not only saw tremendous growth for our company through large-scale projects, as you can see some of the logos there, but we also started to understand that the market was demanding even more prefabrication that we were delivering prior to 2003. And really around in 2019, when we started to finish up our Stanford Escondido Village project, which you saw on the first opening slide, we understood and realized that our project-to-project approach, even though it saw tremendous growth between 2003 and 2019, it wasn't supporting the markets fast enough, and we weren't delivering the level of prefabrication that the market was desiring. And so in 2019, and really started in 2018, we decided to move from a super subcontractor into the world of world-class manufacturing and prefabricated building systems. And I'll share a little bit my presentation of what that means. But all that to say that we are very much at the beginning of what's next for Clark Pacific. We're well on our way to push from a project-based subcontractor and into product and market-based manufacturing. And it's a very exciting and interesting journey for us. So next up is the how. So our big pivot over the last decade or so was about moving from a project approach to a product approach. So part of that is standardized work and understanding the hierarchy of resources and how we integrate our teams. But within the construction industry, it's extremely important to understand the custom where it matters part of our delivery model. So site considerations, architectural and finish considerations, our capacity within our manufacturing facilities, they all lead to standardizing our work, but understanding how we deliver our product. So throughout our product delivery and product development, we understand what we can standardize, but what we continue to need to do custom to in order to create products that fit within our markets. So if you look at the inverted delivery model from the last slide, with the majority of our resources focusing on products versus project, a little bit of a breakdown of what that model looks like is the majority of our resources from a hierarchy standpoint is focused around DFMA. And then, below that is really understanding our logistics and supply chain. So our entire production system around our product focused versus our project focus. And I'll share a little bit about what that means in terms of integration with our teams. But what we're seeing is by focusing on a DFMA approach, it's injecting a manufacturing acumen into the delivery of our projects even further upstream into our design and architecture teams than we had seen before we decided to move towards a product focus. So how do we integrate our teams? Within the production system, we drive our demand from the assemble standpoint. We erect our own buildings and we trigger our demand into the manufacturing center to understand our tack times and our delivery to the field to meet our schedule. And so in the core middle of this picture, you see manufacturing. And manufacturing is the core of what we do as an organization. And it's supported by the DFMA, the facilities themselves, as well as the supply chain. And what we've done with our teams is created what we call closed loops. And so it allows the manufacturing teams and the DFMA teams, for example, to be part of a closed loop where the ultimate KPI and success metric is the product itself and not a design deliverable or a manufacturing deliverable. It's rallying a cross-functional team around a single way that drives the importance of how we deliver with this model. And we're using a Scrum framework, which, if you're familiar with it, is mainly used in the software industry, focused on 2-week sprints. And so it allows our teams to integrate daily, understand what needs to be done, balance workflow between the teams, so individual teams and members don't get bogged down and miss a delivery window. And so it's almost an operation science way to incorporate it into actually how we deliver designs into the manufacturing process. So then we step back after understanding how to integrate our teams to deliver this approach and looked at how do we go external? How do we create products to deliver to unique markets that our customers are asking for? And so we organized our company around 3 distinct business units. So parking, facades, and structural solutions. And we've created product sets within each of those business units to deliver to the market. So the first one being Clark Park, which we launched in 2018, which we say is a parking structure delivered as a product. Facades, we launched the Infinite Facade this summer, and then we're working on what's next for Clark Pacific through further prefabrication in our structural solutions business group. So what have we learned along the way? There's a lot of important things that we're continuing to learn as we progress along this life cycle, but over the last decade, we've been really adapting how we deliver our products and how we work through our production system to take on more scope at the project level. So if you think about where we were in 2009, we were delivering a project called Munger, which was just the prefab exterior. In 2014, we moved towards what we called a generation 1, where we developed and delivered the entire prefabricated structure of the building. For the Escondido Village project on the Stanford campus, we started to integrate glazing and kitting into that model. And then we're working on a project to deliver in 2024 that integrates even more of that interior modules into our process. So the key here, as you see the title, is our ability as a company to iterate and deliver. So each one of these steps required us to go through that whole chain that I mentioned before of how we integrate our teams, how we set up our production model, and understand how are we going to deliver that project at the schedule and cost that was set out along the way. And you know, we talk about scars a lot and developing the scars along the way. And it's about failing fast, integrating our teams, and improving. And there really are a lot of scars over these last decade as we work through the complexity of how we continue along this journey. As I showed in our production system, manufacturing is really paramount to our success. So we have 3 manufacturing facilities across Northern and Southern California that that build products for one or multiple of our business units. And as you see on the left, how we utilize technology and software to deliver the work instructions to our team members is extremely important to our overall cost strategy, as well as our ability to scale the operation. And a lot of that is coming through our investment as a company and putting our resources focusing around DFMA. It's also about building a diverse workforce, and we're using operations science with PPI to help inform how we establish our manufacturing centers and our production model as a whole to be able to deliver as we further progress in prefabrication. And the last bit of learning that we're going through, especially now, is how do we integrate the software and technology into our production system? So what you see at the top is the level of our sub-assemblies that are coming into our factories, the level of support through the digital twin in our manufacturing ERP system to understand and work through the flow of our work in our factories, the project level at the bottom, our project management system, because we still deliver on projects, and with the product kind of bridging the gap between both the factory and the project. So there's a whole host of complexity within the software and technology space, and we believe it's still developing. There's a lot of innovation, investment, R&D. There's really no one-stop shop for how we deliver our work and how we're planning to deliver our work moving forward. And so, just one piece of the overall complexity of what we're, pushing forward with our internal resources to understand, because it's vitally important to how we deliver. So I understand I went through a lot of content pretty quickly. I want to say thank you for the opportunity to be here. I'm going to stick around for James's presentation as well and help facilitate that conversation. But if you'd like to continue the conversation of what Clark Pacific's doing, how we're thinking about things, and how we're investing in the future, please feel free to take a screen grab and reach out to me and Clark Pacific. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Will. That was great. Again, provocative. It's fun to see your journey here.